All right, guys, welcome back. Chief Kurt, Kravology. This week we are referring to an article and video we did last week. So we had a catchy title last week. I think it was Knife Attack Feud. There's no feud. What we're exploring is what's the best or most effective or optimal way for the most amount of people, right, big and small, short and tall, to be able to deal with a violent attack with an edged weapon, right? George emailed us last week. He had a couple of questions we're going to address in a day. So stay with us. It's going to be strong. All right, guys, you can see I brought James in. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the video clips I saw and walk you through some of the issues. I think I want to start with sort of the headline first, which is this. A counterattack is what solves most all of your self-defense problems or your issues or the danger. And what we're looking for here is an optimal way for the most people, big and tall, short and small, to be able to respond to violent attacks. So I saw some video clips. I want to talk to you about the irony of what I saw. I don't want to say people are wrong. That's not the right way to go about it. But looking for optimal defenses for as many people as possible. So I'm going to play the role of the attacker for a minute. We're going to show you both sides. But the first thing we saw in the video clip was sort of two defenses on one attack, which you actually saw in the initial video that we made in response to last week. Right? So we called that, I think, Knife Attack Feud. So it's ironic that's the case. But anyway, I have a training knife here. I can see it's a training knife. James can see it's a training knife. It's a training knife. And I'm attacking with an underhand attack. And James is going to take his hands and he's going to go to the attacking arm with both hands. So he's purposely going to skip any attempt at a counterattack. So as I come under, he's driving the knife back. He's not on my shoulder, he's on my arm, right? And what he wants to do is he wants to try, let's switch this way now. He wants to try to sit down on the elbow, right? And then my elbow's there as possible. Here's the issue. The issue is this. If I have a fist mate, I can turn my hand this way. Now when he sits down, nothing happens, right? The other issue is this. My hand is free. He's got two hands on one. I'm just going to push his elbow in at him and turn the knife this way. I have him. Now when I've handed the knife off. Okay? So we could go back and forth on this. And someone could say, no, when you get to that position, you're going to, he's going to counterattack. Okay? So what you're saying is he's going to solve the problem counterattacking, which is what we said last week. Right? But the other issue I want you to understand is this. We could play this game where he grabs on with two hands and I go, nope, and I push him through and I hand that knife off, and now the knife's in the other hand, I've got him captured. And there could be this concept of, no, I'll do this, and you'll do that, and I'll do this, and you'll do that. And that's the mistake I mentioned last week with talking about where points of failure are. Because it's a rabbit hole. What you need to do is find the common denominator that solves the most problems for the most people. We just mentioned it. It's a counterattack. I'll show you another version. So in the video, there's an overhand knife attack. James is not going to try necessarily to go for the counterattack. He's going to defend and make sure that he's wrapping the arm. He's going to go to this position, right? So the first mistake he's made if we turn is he's not above the elbow with his hold, he's below. So it's very easy for me to slip out, right? But he's close enough, let's turn this way. He's close enough for me to take my off hand and just reach across the face, push, and come back with a knife. Look, I've done this 21 years. I've studied knife arts. I've applied what I learned, which is frankly minimal to, in terms of usable stuff, to Krav Maga. And I've done it for 20 years. I'm telling you right now, the answer to a knife attack is to counterattack. So George, the answer to your question is, when you have a knife attack, you must first try to counterattack. If you find yourself wrapped up in a suboptimal position, then you must secondly try to counterattack. Because counterattack is your defense. I want to address this other issue, which is, well, I saw the instructor grabbing the knife and making elbow attacks and taking people to the ground and doing cool things. And I would say, yes, that's true. The issue becomes, can a 130-pound person do that defense when a 250-pound man is attacking with a knife very aggressively? And the answer is no. No one should argue that. But the defense can be made if you take the focus and the intention off of the attack by hitting them. So what I want to say again is, rather than chasing this rabbit down the hole and saying, well, I'm going to do this, and if you do that, I'm going to do this, if you do that, I'm going to do that. It is a losing game. It is a game where you just run down this rabbit hole and talk about all the things you know to do, some of which or most of which no one does in the moment because it's so far beyond where you start in training. The answer to an attack is a counterattack. You cannot, if you want to be optimal and you want this to work for big and small, short and tall, you simply can't allow the defender to skip the counterattack, to try to arrest control of the knife hand, to then go back to the counterattack. Too many things are going to happen. I'm not saying it won't work. I'm saying it won't work consistently for a huge group of diverse people against a diverse group of attackers. And that's what Krav Maga is about. The answer is the counterattack, every time. And if you get in a position where you've missed your counterattack, George, and you're in a suboptimal position, the answer is to counterattack. If you try to wrap the arm, often you'll get filleted. If you try to hold the arm, often you'll get face pushed or shoulder pushed, the knife will come out and you'll get cut. Counterattack. What should they do, James? Counterattack. Hit them and please hit them. Don't hit them here. I don't know what this is. Hit them in the area that makes the decisions. Distract there to the point that they can't continue the attack. Keep attacking. Get control. Attack some more. Take the knife. That's your answer, George. All right, just to summarize, remember that your answer for self-defense is to address the danger and counterattack as quickly and as closely together as you possibly can. The more time between addressing the danger and counterattack, the more danger and risk you take on as the defender. Do not try to address the danger with two hands if you can address it with one and make the counterattack. This is a rule for knife, but knife is just the most egregious way of seeing this. It's the rule for all self-defense. If you can address the danger and counterattack simultaneously, it's the best of both worlds. But don't, on purpose, delay your counterattack. That's a recipe for disaster. And I want to tell you this. Don't believe me because I told you. Don't believe somebody else because they made a cool video. Test this in your training. You will find it to be true. All right, thanks for this week. Scroll down, subscribe to whatever it is we subscribe to, Kravology and Instagram, all the stuff we have going on social media. And remember to send us questions or comments because we just might respond to you like we did today.